A prince stood before the village, his voice steady but desperate. Whoever has the waist bead I gave her, step forward. Women murmured, some glancing at their own beads. Some giggled, some whispered, but the girl he sought was not among them. He had given her his heart, sealed with a simple string of beads. Now she was gone. Obinna, the young prince of Umuagu, was never one to flaunt his royalty. He preferred the company of ordinary people, far from the palace's expectations. That day, he had disguised himself in a simple wrapper and walked along the dusty road leading to the stream. That was when he saw her. She was carrying a water pot, her steps light, her laughter soft as she spoke with another girl. The sun caught her dark skin, and the way she moved made him stop in his tracks. For the first time, Obinna felt his heart skip. As if sensing his gaze, she turned. Their eyes met, and she smiled. Not the first smile of someone trying to impress a prince, just a simple, kind smile. "Good afternoon," he greeted. "Good afternoon," she replied. "What is your name?" She hesitated, then said, "Adanni." "Adanni," he repeated, as if tasting the name. "It's beautiful." She laughed. "It's a common name." "Not to me." And so their story began. Every evening, they met under the great udala tree near the river. It was their first secret place where no one knew them. Not as a prince, not as a poor village girl, just two people who enjoyed each other's company. One evening, as the sky turned golden, Obinna reached into his pocket and pulled out something small, a waist bead, delicate, golden, shimmering in the fading sunlight. "This is for you," he said, placing it in her palm. Adanni gasped. "Obinna, I can't accept this." "Why not?" he asked, tilting his head. She looked down at the bead. "My father, he wouldn't like it. He doesn't like anything that makes me happy." Obinna frowned. "Why?" She hesitated, then sighed. "My mother died giving birth to me. Since then, my father has never truly loved me. I am just a reminder of his pain." Obinna's chest tightened. He reached for her hand and squeezed it. "You are not a curse, Adanni. You deserve happiness." She smiled, blinking away tears. "I will keep the bead, but I will hide it." He grinned. "That's all I ask." For weeks they met under the udala tree, speaking about dreams, life and love. Then one evening, she didn't come. Obinna waited, leaning against the tree, watching the sun disappear behind the hills. He waited until the moon rose, then until the night became cold, but she never came. The next day he returned, and the day after that, still no Adanni. His heart grew restless. Had something happened to her? In his frustration, he came up with a plan. He ordered all the young women in the village to bring their waist beads to the palace. "If you have the waist bead I gave her, come forward," he announced. The women giggled. Some lifted their wrappers to show their beads, hoping to be chosen, but none had the one he was looking for. Meanwhile, Adanni was at home, completely unaware. That evening, her father had forced her to stay back and pound yam. His voice had been harsher than usual. "You will not leave this house today. You will not roam about like a lost goat." She didn't argue. She never did. As she sat by the fire, she clutched the waist bead around her waist, wondering if Obinna was waiting for her. She had no idea he was searching. Days later, Adanni went to the stream to fetch water. The sun was high and the water was cool against her fingers as she bent to fill her pot. Then she heard footsteps. When she looked up, her breath caught in her throat. Obinna was standing there. His eyes widened as he saw the bead around her waist. A slow smile spread across his face. I finally found you. Adanne's heart pounded. Obinna. He stepped closer. Why did you stop coming? She bit her lip. My father wouldn't let me. Obinna sighed. I thought I lost you. She looked at him, at the sincerity in his eyes. You never did. In that moment, he knew he wasn't just a prince searching for a girl. He had found his queen. So he took her and showed her to the entire village, announcing that he had found his queen. And then Adanne's father came to plead for Adanne's forgiveness for all the wrongs and the harsh way he treated her. Adanne forgave him and they reconciled.